Welcome to Deep Thought, Social Media Mask. Now, you know what? I know this is something I talked about someplace. I had to. I had to because I'm big on talking about mask and everything. But I was moved to do it this time again. Reason why? Well, one I think is a big issue. And this is something a lot of other people will talk about. Like every now and then you'll see a meme that says, you get these people who act like they got everything going on social media. They might act like they got all these friends, they live in a certain lifestyle or whatever, but then in real life you find out they're not. Like you might have someone who will go to a car dealership or something and maybe test drive a car, but then park it someplace, get out and act like that's their car. Or you might get some women, they'll get something, maybe try it on and act like it's theirs. Of course they hide the tag and everything. And they wearing masks. And part of that mask is to get so many likes or get so much attention. And in some people's cases it's to get money. Like you have many women who are charging money just to look at supposedly naked pictures of them. That's a little thing. Now, I don't usually jump on somebody's hustle or anything, but I'm like, okay, well, in order for them to get that, they got to present a certain thing. Yet you don't know what it is outside of it. It's like people created a whole world. Like they'll think, like it's to the point where some people, especially younger people, feel like, hey, this is the world. Oh, I saw him on social media doing it. It must have been something, but, it's a mask. It's a mask. Or you even see it further sometimes, like you'll see it in YouTube spaces. There's a lot of content creators, and I don't mean just in this section of YouTube, just period, who, you don't know their real name. They don't give you any clue, any place about their real life, but, they're experts on stuff. That's their mask. They become experts. They'll say, yeah, I know all this. This is who I am. And in fact, it could be something good. Like I remember there was one time. Wait, hold on a second. Sorry about that. Something came up I had to deal with real quick. I remember it was on YouTube. I'll never forget this. There was it was the picture anyway of a very attractive woman. It was the picture of it, and the woman was actually talking about some like good things. She was actually talking about a lot of positive things, a lot of uplifting things for the community, the black community in particular. But the picture she used to get somebody's attention, I looked at the picture, because I was looking at what she was saying, and then I was looking at the picture, and I said, well, first of all, I saw the picture, and she was trying to act like this was her. I was like, no, that's a model. Because I had seen a picture someplace else before and actually was able to track it down. I was like, no, this is a model. This ain't who it is. But it was interesting because there were a lot of guys who were following her, who were hitting on her because of the picture there. And I'm like, well, hold up, that's fake. Regardless of how she looked, which might have still appealed to people, she had a great message. She didn't have to use a fake picture. And in fact, I know of another gentleman who's real muscular, kind of well known. I'm not going to give his name, but he said people had used his picture as their profile picture. Now, people will come up with excuses and say, well, I can get in trouble on my job or something like that. But a lie is a lie. A lie is a lie. And contrary to popular belief, it depends on what job it is that even cares. I've actually worked on, because I've worked retail before, and, they actually knew I was doing stuff online. That was my last day job, and they knew I was doing stuff online. Because they would talk with me about it. It'd be managers and stuff talking with me. Hey, how's your stuff going? you know? So I didn't have to lie. People, but people feel like they have to present the image or something, or they have to say, well, this is what I'm doing. And usually because they feel like they don't believe in themselves. But see, here's the problem with it. When you start basing something on a mask, sometimes that mask becomes really what the people see. And sometimes that mask becomes you. Let me say that again. Sometimes that mask becomes you. Now, that could be a problem over the long term. That can be a problem over the long term, because that's why some people get so caught up into their phones or whatever they interact with social media with. Like, I've seen people lose their mind if they thought they lost their phone. Now, if it was just back in the day before smartphones, it was just a regular regular cell phone, they might lose it. They might be like, oh, inconvenienced, of course, inconvenienced. But, people got their lives on like many of these social media things, the pictures, and then, they, maybe showing someone else's picture, or sometimes they showing their own, but they got so many filters on there. Like, you're not seeing it fully. And then when you see them in real life, it's like, But that thing, it has to stop. Or people like trying to lead movements. Now that's something I've seen a lot on YouTube. You get people trying to like act like an expert or something, or trying to like spark a movement. But it's like, well, if you really want to spark a movement, you can't use a fake name or a screen name or something. You actually have to give your real name and actually have to show yourself out there. Because one of the issues with social media, and I found this to be interesting, a lot of important people still don't really deal with it, or deal with it limited. I found that that's one thing I found. You talk to a lot of people, they might check it out at best, but they might not have a profile. They might not have anything, and might have a limited amount of pictures or whatever. But then it's the same people that if you really want to make a change out here, they're the ones you got to deal with. But how can you deal with them if you're dealing with you showing them a mask and they think they're dealing with that mask? And the thing is, they might or might not like your real self. Might or might not. They might dislike it. They might be like, I don't want to deal with them. But you know what? That's cool. That's cool if they don't. Because that's one thing. Because it's amazing. Because I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to share this with you. I remember before social media got big, I've been on some message boards, and Rom was terrible. But I had a certain name, and I followed that name, and I was getting on people's nerves. I was causing some nervous breakdowns. But then one time I looked up, I said, you know what? I ain't doing all that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna look, win or lose, be popular, unpopular, whatever. They're gonna know it's wrong. So whatever I'm saying online or on social media, gotta be what I'm gonna say if I'm standing right in front of you. And it becomes easier because one of the things, and this is what I found when I had that certain name, that mask was tough sometimes because I was like, well, that ain't totally me. Totally me. A part of it was, we all got our light and dark sides. A part of it was, but it was just like, well, wait a minute. People ain't seeing the other side of me because they would say certain things or make a certain assumptions. I was like, well, hold up. And that's what made me start to change because a group of, it was women, they were saying some things. Now, I didn't show my picture. They just had that name. And then I was sitting back like, but I do all those other things they say is good. And I was just like, man, was it worth it? No. And so I said, whatever it is, good and bad, I want to be able to stand on my real face. And people gotta start getting that way. It really is. Because the problem with the mask, once it comes off, that could be terrible. Or you could get yourself into a hole wearing that mask. So really think about those things. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Think on this. Peace and blessings.